I went ahead and cut off the windings because as I was testing with the multimeter, something just didn't seem right with the way that the coils were acting. So if we take these two black ones, I get good continuity across them. The ohms may be off, but they're connected together, which is correct for a winding. Across the reds, I don't. From red to any one of the black, I don't. And to the case, I don't. Or inside of the stator piece, I don't on that one. Same thing with the other red one. Nothing, 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 nothing to case, and nothing to the stator either. So I'm thinking that the whatever coil set the red connects to, there's a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the stator out and start slowly disassembling it and seeing if we can't find where the break is, and we're going to attempt to rewind this motor. And I'm going to start off just by marking the very top rail so I know to orient it back in that direction. You can start to see how the coil pairs are set up. This wire set from here up, over, and then back down, so that would be one. Then another one looks like it's the next smaller over, from here up over to this one. Then the smallest one spans 4 gaps, so from here up, over, and then back in. So we're going to have at least 3 individual wire wrap forms, preforms, plus the wire once we determine the wire size. We'll know that once we get, well, here's one right there, we can see. So 0.018, and when we start to take this apart, we'll determine how many turns there are per set. I'm trying not to damage any of the existing coils, because that's gonna help us in being able to determine how these are put together, or at least give us a better indication. So this red wire, we cut the connections, gently pulled it away, and when it came off, it came completely off, and it doesn't appear to be connected to anything at all. So that would explain why we don't have any continuity with the other red wire. So right now we're going to go ahead and take off the other red wire. We're going to see if there's any wires underneath this as I bring it out. I grab on. Now, this wire is connected to that other shiny bit right there. This wire has a connection to it. There's a couple pieces of insulation that I've nicked. I'm just looking to see if this comes up on any of that. So let's continue to trace down inside of this one. There's a broken wire right there. I just pulled that wire out of the blue. So I've successfully cut the top coil half off little nick here. It won't matter. It's very minor. And we'll be able to at least understand the coil pattern. With this piece, we'll be able to get the wire counts, spread it out a little bit more, and make absolutely sure the orientation of all of the coils. There's a big one, and then this will be a big one right there. That's a big one. No, it's not even attempting to. It's a double. This is another single. And then I'm going to apply more heat. We did have some issues with the laminations right here. But what we'll do is we'll pry that up, recoat the laminations, and then seal them back together, clamp it, and carry on. But we've started the wire counting process for how many wires are in each coil, and what we have is on the big singles, there are 220 wires per big single. Then on the ones where they have, here's a bit of a picture. So on the ones that have a big one and a small one, these have 149, and the small diameter, the smaller piece has 70 wires. And what's interesting is that there are two different gauges of wire in here. We have about 25 gauge wire, the larger, and then it's, what is it, 0.010, 30 gauge is the smaller diameter wire here. So we have the doubles, which gets us these guys, and then the large singles gets us these guys with 220, and that gives us 4 sets of individual coils. If we count them out, we have one, or it's, how does this go? It's 1, 2, and then the bigger wires 3 and 4. And what we'll do now is we'll get some measurements, find out how far each run has to be, and then determine how much wire we need to purchase.